What is up, guys, and welcome to MotoGP 20. As timings have worked out, this was not supposed to be my first video on the game. I'm meant to be having a sponsored video. I think it's going to come out tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. You will see my first ever race on the game, and we go to a new track, and it's just all kinds of diabolical. But anyway, here we are for MotoGP. Today we're going to race online, and we are going to test our mettle against other players. Now, it's easy for me to get down on myself and think that I'm crap at the game when I play AI. Now we're going to see just where I really stack up against real players, so I can really be the judge of whether I am as terrible as what I suspect that I am, or I could be esports ready. I just don't know. We're going to find out today anyway, but here we are. First race online. I haven't done a single online race yet, so I don't really know what to expect. We're here at my home Grand Prix, my ex-home Grand Prix, the Australian Grand Prix, Phillip Island. It's a track that I have a lot of experience with from the old V8 supercar games, but we're riding as Valentino Rossi here, seeing if we can get glory. I don't really know where I was going with that, but away we go for our first race, and already you can see we're getting absolutely mugged off the line. Doesn't matter whether it's F1 or MotoGP, starts just are not my forte, but we pick up a couple of positions there into turn one, on the podium already, so life is looking, oh, well, it was looking pretty good for a second there. I thought I was an absolute genius heading into turn two, well, things have just gone downhill already. Not gonna lie, I had some evil thoughts pop into my head at this point, but the game prevented me from executing those plans. But we will swiftly move on from that. It's P11. I think 12 players is the maximum amount of people you can have in a lobby, so it doesn't get too hectic. But hey, we've got dedicated servers to make sure that lag is at a minimum. So we'll see how that goes for us for the rest of this video. But yeah, it's not been a good start. Obviously, when you crash in online, there's no rewinds. There's nothing that's really going to save you. You lose a lot of time by falling off the race circuit and into the gravel or into the grass. You just sat staring at a menu or a cutscene for a couple of seconds. So that is very costly. So my recommendation to you guys is to, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Don't crash, and you should be alright. My first race came to an end. We did recover reasonably well. Pace seemed decent, but the consistency was absolutely horrific. That right there is a nutshell of how my race went. So there we go. It's P6. Fastest lap was 2 seconds away from the race winner, Vaco Rop, with a 25.0. So we definitely have some pace to find, and you know, this isn't a surprise to me at all. I definitely need to work on my cornering. I think I just need to pick a line and then like stick to it. I can't afford to just keep adjusting my lean-in angle, and then we should be alright, but you know, it's a lot easier said than done. But here we go for my second race now. This is Mugello, the Italian Grand Prix. Sorry everyone in the comments if I've got that wrong, but away we go for our second race, and again the start doesn't seem to be that great. You might notice on the bottom right we are running with some assists or electronic assists with the bike. There's absolute carnage at turn one, so that bad start has turned into a phenomenal one. P2 and P3 are squabbling out there while the leader is allowed to run uncompromised out front. We drop down to P5, so seeming like the pace isn't great. I don't know this place as well as Phillip Island, to be fair, but we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out for us. I do have a little bit of experience here from the old Forza games, like Forza 3. I think I did a few laps around here, but otherwise, that's it's going to be an uphill battle for us. Turn one, we got sideswiped a little bit there, but thankfully we didn't get knocked off the bike. The person behind got knocked off, and that was pretty common from what I saw all throughout the night of doing these online races. If you're the bike behind running into someone in front of you, it's normally the instigator that you know, suffers the most from that, and I like that. A bit of karma being dealt out, which you love to see. But, yeah, we're P4 at the moment. We're on the brink of getting on the podium here. There's a lapped bike getting in the way, and... Of course. Of course that had to happen. So... Life was looking so good for us. We were on the brink of getting a podium, and then... yep, race ruined. Decided to end my race in the pit lane. Marquez here seemingly can't really keep the bike in a straight line. Waved to the crowd at that phenomenal performance of P8. Definitely not regretting throwing away three positions by sulking in the pit lane. But we move on to the next race. We're at the Austrian Grand Prix here in Spielberg, and I've got to use my F1 knowledge here to get myself a race win, or at least... Hell, I'd settled for even a podium at this point. But anyway, we got a good starting position. I think we were like P3 or something. There's a crash at turn 1. Big shock. It's P2. And we're going to look to put the moves on Veiko Rop here in the lead. People behind us are also getting caught up in crashes. So it looks like there's a bit of a breakaway here for the top 3. This has to be my chance now for me to get a podium. There's just absolutely no excuses. So let's see if we can utilize the slipstream to our effect. And here, we're just getting left for dead on the back straight, which is a big cause for worry. But heading into the braking zone, oh, something is going to be braking in this zone for sure! Oh my goodness, we've absolutely killed Marquez. Stand by while we escort him off to hospital. It's P5, non-classified finisher as well, so I may as well have... Well, Marquez, he should have been in a stretcher, but he got back on the bike and tried to recover well for you guys, for your entertainment, only to get timed out. He didn't make it to the end of the race before the timer struck him out. So, oh, that's... Poor guy. But anyway, we're back once again. I don't know if I've done this race here at Qatar yet, but we're here anyway. We did do this a lot. In this half a dozen set of races that we did, Qatar came up a lot. I don't know why it was so popular, but it was. I did try voting for a lot of F1 style circuits. Goodbye. Nice bit of karma for you there, son. But no one was really having any of it. So we're just having to go to the tracks that I am absolutely rubbish at. Perhaps that was everyone's strategy in this lobby, is just to prevent me from being successful. But speaking of, we're not doing too bad at this stage. We're leading for about half a lap before getting overtaken by Rossi there into the middle sector. So we're going to have to do our homework here and learn this track on the fly. I kind of know where I'm going, and of course I do have the racing line, which you guys will have already spammed in the comments. Ben, turn that off. Thing is, I don't know where to brake. I don't know, even still with the racing line on, and having about 3 or 4 hours under my belt with this game now, I still don't know the full potential of what these bikes can do. It's really frustrating. Trust me, if I knew what I could do, I would turn off the racing line. But I need it so much. The biggest thing for me is oh, for God's sake. I was just getting pinballed around there. The biggest thing for me that I struggle with is braking. I always yeet the bike in way too fast into a corner. I think it could slow up, but it doesn't. So it leaves me with mammoths amount of apex speed, and I normally end up getting wiped out because I can't hold on to the bike. But away we go for another race. This is the, they call it the Catalan Grand Prix here at Barcelona, but it's a track we know well nonetheless. Heading into turn 1.
Oh, hello there!
Marquez continues his streak of heading to the hospital, I suppose. Not even Marquez could save that. But anyway, we're in P2. We're still seeing if we can salvage a race win from out of nowhere. But I've got to say, the guys in this lobby, well, I want to say in my defense that they're absolute pros. They're esports riders. But they're probably just your average run-of-the-mill casual player. And I'm getting beaten by those guys. Is this what it feels like to be like into the barrier? I think it is. I'm sorry, Scott. That was a low blow. But still, it is. It's not a nice feeling, nonetheless, to be on your limit. Well, there has been a few mistakes from me, but not in this race. the fact that, oh god. Alright, I was going to go off on this tangent saying, you know, I can go have a race and not make any mistakes and still finish poorly like I have here. This second race here in Qatar got me P4 and that was without mistakes. So it just shows, like, I can be consistent, but I just don't have the speed to keep these guys at bay and get and even get a podium at this rate. It's come on, man, this is embarrassing. But this is my final race. We're back here in Mugello, and we're going to see if we can pull off the unthinkable, a race win. We've also discovered, thanks to Tom97 HD, that I was running in a lower bike or engine setting. Oh, and we've been collected at turn 1. Well, thanks for that. So I've been running with higher engine modes for the last couple of races, and I guess that has helped the pace a little bit, but it hasn't been absolutely groundbreaking. Like I said, the areas where we are struggling is the cornering speed. I just need to make one smooth input and not throw the bike in too deep. I need to brake at the right amounts, and I just need to nail the corners, essentially. That's my biggest problem. Someone behind me got collected as they ran into my rear tire. So that is a nice defense mechanism, I guess, is just park the bike, as thin as it may be, in front of your opponent behind, and they will spin out. So that is a good bit of consumer advice, I guess. But we're grinding away in this race. We haven't made a mistake since turn 1. We have been a little bit wayward here or there, but the pace here at Mugello seems to be decent. We can corner cut a little bit, as evidenced there on the green AstroTurf. Again, that's 2 wheels over the white line. I don't know what the track limit rules are in MotoGP. Are you allowed to have 1 wheel over the white line, or I don't know. You guys will have to be the judge of that, but there is corner cutting penalties, and thankfully we haven't got those just yet. I think on the next lap we push things that little bit more fiercely. But we got a bit of an air gap to the bike behind. P4 is a few seconds. He actually did crash out behind us, like I mentioned, and he's kind of already closing back in as we make a big mistake there at the last corner. That's me again adjusting my angle, my turn-in angle, or lean-in, whatever it is, and just resulted in a big bout of, for lack of a better word, understeer. Is there understeer? Of course, there must be understeer as a term in motorcycle racing, but regardless, that correction cost me a decade there. Anyway, fighting away side by side. We're now off the podium. We're that slow. We've been overtaken by someone who has crashed multiple times, and we're going to barge them out the way and get back on the podium. We wave up the hand in apologetic fashion, but that is little solace for the guy who just got barged off and is now probably not going to get a podium, but we're going to move on. We're going to see if we can get P2 in this race. The race leader is only 5 seconds up the road, so if not for the crash, this could have been the Grand Prix that we won. But I still want to convert. I still want to get a podium if I can. Dare I say it, maybe even second place. Really cheesing this final chicane as we head into the final corner of this Mugello Italian Grand Prix. He's gone in a little bit deep. We're going to slide in up the inside, get on the power as early as you can. And now we've got to use up the slipstream to see if we can steal P2 in this Italian Grand Prix. Up to the line. It's a photo finish, but we got the job done. It took all of my talent and all of my remaining voice to do that. But we have got P2 on a MotoGP game. Guys, that took the perfect recovery, and we could only get P2 in a 6-man lobby. How embarrassing. I think the title holds true. I feel like I must be the worst player in the MotoGP game franchise. I won't accept anything less. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please give me tips in the comments, and I'll join you guys for another MotoGP 20 video very soon.